Okay, good luck with the slow descent into madness.
If you can keep up and you don't mind dying, come along.
Dance off, bro. Me and you.
You know what? There's something just extremely uncomfortable about a man your size sniffing a flower.
We're gonna need a new plan.
I'll give you anything you ask for. As long as it's not something I don't want to give.
Get off my bridge.
It's the Al Travis Show. We've got a double header. We've got Senator John Jasinski and Senator Lang with us this half hour. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
I know it was a semi-nice day, maybe a little windy. Which one of the No Kings rallies were you guys at? Can you tell us now? No?
Oh, I hit a few up.
Did you
I forgot all about it. Yeah. I was looking in the weekend, yeah.
What I find interesting, and you guys can help me out here, we have this, and they want to say massive, but be quite frank, I didn't see anybody. Now, I was watching a little football, so maybe I wasn't, the guy they were looking for. What exactly were they trying to get? This is America. We have a president, 4 years. He's a king, and it sounds, I guess, revolutionary to say no new kings since 1776. But here in Minnesota specifically, these people you see doing this, and you have every right to do it. I'm not telling you can't. This is America. Good for you. But they didn't say anything when the current governor shut down churches because too many people sing out loud and COVID could spread. They said you had to have a shot if you wanted to go to work. Shut down all kinds of businesses, but said, don't worry, Walmart and that big candy store, you guys can stay open. Have we forgotten what happened just 5 years ago?
Isn't it amazing?
Well, am I wrong? Am I missing something? What are we currently getting that is so kings worthy that 5 years ago wasn't 10 times worse?
Yeah, the protests seem to be a little misguided, or maybe it's like throwing a temper tantrum in the aisle of a grocery store because they get a piece of candy, but then the kid forgets what it was crying about. So yeah,
there wasn't any in Faribault. I didn't see any Kings rally in Faribault, Minnesota.
Okay, and I didn't drive around looking for them, but I didn't see it. But in some of the papers talking about it, some of them, like in Rochester and St. Cloud, it went from this no kings thing to hating their current Republican congressman. And it's like, so now you think your congressman is the king? And I guess it just seems like floundering for floundering's sake, right?
It does. And I would say from our vantage point, the Democrat Party is, it's our rival, right? Is our competition in what we do on a daily basis. And the thing is, you still want your competition to be healthy. And right now the Democrat Party is not healthy. No. It seems like a party that just really doesn't know what it's doing. Even when they're in control, it seems kind of floundering, I think is the perfect word. But
you guys do this for a living, so maybe it's a little disqualifying in that people around you are probably more political than most.
Biased, yeah.
Well, no, even biased. I mean, I'm biased. I mean, I don't do this for a living, but I get to chat about it on the air. But I guess if you talk to regular folks that don't live this, you, I, and we do this for a living. Who's winning this shutdown war right now? I was literally talking to a friend of mine. He's like, well, it's the Republicans. They shut it down. And I said, well, wait a minute. And this is just from my head. Every Republican voted for a continuing resolution, which I'm not for, but everyone did. And you guys didn't. Well, that's different. And it changes. But I think there's an entire side that is just believing what they see. Who's winning this? That's the question. Long question.
Well, I think the Republicans are, put it this way, that I don't understand. That one didn't make sense to me. It would have made more sense if they would have, shut it down last spring when Schumer took the continuing resolution vote. For some reason, right now seems to be the time, and maybe it's the Democrats just saying we need to either flex the muscle that we have, or we just need to hurt Trump. And it's odd. The timing didn't seem right. It should have either happened last spring or not happen at all, because I don't think it does the Democrats any good to shut it down. Whether you say it's for illegal aliens, you see it's for not. That's the argument that it's going to be for healthcare. But to be honest with you, I just don't think it paints them in a good light. And it seems like the party as a whole has made that misstep several times as of recent. So
they're on the wrong side of all the issues. So it's like just crazy to watch. But
Well, John, John, Senator Jasinski,
John's fine.
even on our side, I'm mad as a conservative in that they said if we voted them in and gave them the power, we'd get to regular order, right? That they would get the 12 bonding things done and we would be able to look at them and tell. And here we are 9-10 months into this, and just give us another 6 weeks. I'm unhappy. This continuing resolution is the same resolution they voted on 13 times. This goes back to the Biden era money we're spending, and I'm supposed to be okay with it and fight for Trump. Like, get it done the work. I'm a little upset with my side, I'm sorry, to be quite frank. Am I wrong?
Well, the fact that they haven't passed a budget, I would say, is kind of frustrating.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Pass a balanced budget. And the truth of it is, pass a budget that is less than what you're spending now, and I think I'd be happy.
Well, that's where I'm at. And what do you get, John, Senator Jasinski, in 6 weeks? They passed the continuing resolution for 6 weeks. We really think we can square things away now by mid-November? Or now you're going to say, well, we don't want people unemployed during the holidays. Let's do another. I just don't see an end of the 6-week CRs.
I don't. It's too bad because they're just the Democrats just don't. I don't say don't know what to do, but they just are so upset. It's just crazy. If they put half the energy into what they're doing against Trump to work together to get things done, this world would be a lot better place. But they can't do it. They're just so upset. It's this Trump derangement syndrome. I hate to say it, but it's everywhere. I mean, the people are just the Democrats just don't know what to do.
Well, let's take one more question on this. How is this affecting Minnesota? Literally was out with some friends over the weekend, and I turned and said, okay, we've had the shutdown. There's going in a third week. What's changed in your life? And in the group that I was with, no one had a thing. Now, I get it. You need a passport. That's going to suck. But can you tell me how anyone else has been affected? But biggest because of you guys running the state. How is this affecting us financially? Is there something that's going to happen in Minnesota that we can't handle because it's been shut down for 3 weeks? What's going on state?
Not at 3 weeks, no. I mean, it's at some point in time, the SNAP benefits will run out. That'll be when people really start squawking.
Okay.
That is a fund that's a rotating fund that, every 90 days or whatever it is gets refilled. Now, if it goes much further than that, then, big ticket items, education funding, funding the MPCA.
Would you have to come back in a special session to reallocate money, or can you dip into the $1 billion rainy day fund?
We don't have any. Well,
we don't.
Well, don't we have a full rainy day fund? Couldn't this just be dipped into
3.56 billion or something is in our in reserves?
But you have to get it. You'd have to be called into session to get into that. Is my point, right? So this doesn't happen without a lot going on. Okay, that's fair enough.
The funny thing I saw the other day, it was Nick Frentz down in Mankato having some kind of rally with a megaphone about taking rural health care away. We've been talking about rural health care for years about what's going to happen, and now they're trying to blame it on Trump. It's like they've been doing this for years, and they didn't seem to complain about it when they were cutting everything, and now it's just.
Yeah, I asked Senator Gary Dames about the reinsurance fund that he's been trying to get passed for how many years, and they keep voting against it. And it's like all you're doing is pumping up the price of rural health care.
I kind of know where you're going to go on this. My question, you said it like before I knew Senator Jasinski was coming on, but I'd love to hear from both of you. The president, of course, we're shut down, but the president made sure that, Secretary of War Hegseth found the money to pay the troops. Then you see the other side all up in arms. What are you doing? Well, there's essential and non-essential. If you're not essential by getting bullets, the risk of bullets coming at you, I don't know what the heck essential is. I personally thought, good for him to take care of our troops. I presume, Lang, you're in the same boat. Yeah, that's good use of your time and money.
So I didn't. They shut it down on, I think it was a Monday or Tuesday when they took that last final vote at the end of September. And I was supposed to go to drill that weekend, and I got the weekend off. So. I was okay with it.
But you get my point. If you're going to take care of somebody, take care of those guys, right? I mean, they're the ones who are fighting for. Jasinski, am I right? He's being all funny because he gets the check. I don't know if you're in the service anymore. Am I wrong? If you're going to take care of something, and maybe they should do that in all the SNAP benefits, the big as our budget is, that you don't think they can find enough to keep the poor, sick fed? Your thoughts, John, Senator?
They can find it. It's just a political stunt. That's what's happening.
Well. Okay, fair enough. We're going to go to break. Steve Simon, again, is out talking about voting and trying to tell people with all those driver licenses, don't vote. It could get you kicked out of the country. We'll talk about that and all the problem we've got going on with voting right now in Minnesota. We do that next with Senator Lang and Senator Jasinski.
You need a friend at the Capitol who knows how to get things done.
And you're in luck, because that's exactly who we are, your friends at the Capitol, and we deliver results.
At Momentum Advocacy, we bring decades of experience in lobbying, public affairs, and crisis communications.
From local nonprofits to national corporations, we help you move policy, manage your media, and make your voice heard.
We're not just seasoned pros, we're essential partners.
Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more at momentum-advocacy.com.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
Amongst friends, the Al Travis Show. Nothing but talk.
And I've got him, Senator Lang, Senator Jasinski on the program with us today. Gentlemen, I wasn't too really concerned about our voting and how we vote and that sort of thing here in Minnesota. I think there's issues, there always are. But in the last week, a lot of really weird small stories come out that when I start talking about them and put them together, I think there's an issue. We had two gentlemen plead guilty in federal court to filling out 500 to 600 false registrations in Minnesota, right? Voter registrations. They're paid evidently by some company, which 99% of their income comes from the state of Minnesota grants to have them go find people. Simon says, don't worry, our voter rolls are wonderful. We had a young lady in northern Minnesota whose mother died, but she was a big Trumper, so she voted for her mom. And that went into the thing. Now, she got caught. She got caught. Today's story, according to Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon, he wants put to rest your concerns about driver licenses for all. because now everybody can get a driver's license. He did say, but hey, keep in mind there are penalties if you vote with a driver's license and you're you're not here legally. There is, yeah, you could be deported.
If
That's what it said. And so far, no one's been caught. No one's been caught. It's like, but if you don't look, you don't get caught, right? Well, okay, so now you put those things together. Literally, you can just go pick your dead mother's ballot up and go vote. What do you want? What do you want me to do about it? He says 500 to 600 registrations we know are fake, and they're in the system, but we don't want to go in and clean up the voter rolls. At some point, do you guys as legislators have to take that over and make it a law and say, the one was making sure you were dead. My dad died 4 months ago. I thought the state, when they issued his death certificate, they would also tell Simon that he can't vote anymore. But that isn't necessarily a one-on-one correlation in the state of Minnesota. So if you know my dad passed and know he didn't tell the state, so his voter rolls there, you could walk in here and vote for him. You could literally just take a vote. How is that possible in 2025?
It's worse than that, Al. When it came to the driver's license for all, this is something we argued in the Transportation Committee for a day.
We had 18 amendments. 18.
Yeah, we sat there and argued and argued and argued. This is my 18-year-old that decides he wants to be 21 can go with, a fake birth certificate and go get himself a new ID with the same address, just a different license number. Or if you happen to get a DUI or anything like that, you could go get another license that's your same birthday. You could actually lose a couple pounds too, but when you got your new license, but you could have two. You could be like, here's the one for my DUIs. Here's one for my speeding. Yeah.
Well, and this what bothered me about it, if I can, a simple way this could have helped out was our driver's license are horizontal, right? You could have said, if you're not getting a real driver's license, this is just ID. You could have turned them.
That's discriminatory.
Yep.
That's discriminatory. Then people are gonna know they're illegal. And I said, that's probably
that was the argument. That was the argument.
Or you put a star on the backside, so when the little old lady at the check-in for voting,
like the Nazis did to the Jews in the fourth.
I see it. Oh, yeah, okay.
Come on now, you got to be fair.
So what would lead anyone in Minnesota to believe Steve Simon? And I don't know the guy. I've had him on my show. He seems like a nice enough guy. I'm not ripping him. But he wants to be the one to tell me, don't worry, everything's okay. Yeah. He wants to say everything's okay, but I'm not going to show the federal government what our rules are. I'm going to do these things until you trust me. Well, you laugh, but Minnesotans should be upset about this. This is 5 these stories in a week, and now he comes out and says, don't worry, there's a penalty if we catch you doing that. Not that we're looking, but if you did it, you could get deported. How is that supposed to make me feel good?
Well, he must be he's on tour in the state because he was in Faribault like a week and a half ago talking to business owners about this, and that was obviously one of the things that came up. People were asking about voter rolls and all that thing, and he does a good song and dance. One of the business guys that I talked to said, he sounds good and sounds like everything's good, but it's not. I mean, like I said, we did 18 amendments to have it written on there, to change it this way, to have it a different color, 18 different things, and every single one of them that you couldn't. Nope, we can't do that. We don't want to discriminate. We don't want someone going in the store and people thinking that they're not as good as somebody else. It's like, it was so crazy.
Well, let me throw one more we don't want to discriminate anybody, but how come we don't have provisional ballots? Al shows up, wants to vote for his dead dad, and they're like, yeah, we kind of know you're not. No, I'll sign the paper. You sign it, you push your ballot into the mix, and even if you come back 2 months later and say, Al, that was a mistake, just like this gal in northern Minnesota voting for Trump, we can't get her vote back out. The vote's in the mix. You can't take it back. Why would anyone do that? Why would you not have a spot for those that didn't fill out all the stuff right?
Catch ballots that shouldn't be there. And in the state of Minnesota, the large majority of the folks cheating the system are on one side of the aisle. So it's amazing that we caught the Trumper lady, and I'm sure that one made the news, but it is designed. The system was designed. It had a lot less to do with driving than it did with other items, in my opinion. And and here's the deal. Once you have that license, it looks exactly the same as, there's nothing saying, how do I know you're not a citizen? I have to go through a very detailed process that in the state of Minnesota is legally, if you're a law enforcement officer standing at that polling box and you see this person that it's illegal, there is no avenue to prosecute.
Yep. And get it in Minnesota, then you can transfer and go move to Iowa, and then all of a sudden you're qualified for their legal driver's license. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah.
And on that same line, just out of curiosity, if you have a license knowing that you're illegal, you're not here legally, but you can drive, are they able to, and do they have to buy insurance like everybody else? Like I have no fault in case somebody, do they have to have that same?
Well, they're supposed to. And I had another bill. So we tried to increase the fine for no insurance from $200. It's $200, I think, for 15 years.
Yeah.
And I had a bill that went from $200. The second time it'd go up to $450. Third time it'd go up to $800. Now this is the second time in 5 years, and third time in 10 years it went up. And they couldn't do that. You can't do that because people, they can't afford.
People are poor, Al. You can't. And I'm like, well, if they're breaking the law, it's just.
Then that you would hope would make them stop doing the bad thing because they don't have the money to pay. Hey, I'm out of time. Thank you both for coming to the program. Really appreciate you guys both today. Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
See you, Al.
Senator Lang, Senator Jasinski on the Al Travis Show.
What time?